Happy New Year.
Martha.
My name is Martha for the newcomers. We have some new people today, and I want to introduce myself. I'm the sister of Lazarus, and he was my brother, and you know about him through the Bible. We were very good friends with Jesus, and I just love being a gatekeeper for Marilyn. I make sure she's safe, and only those that come through will be for the best of everybody's interest, especially Marilyn, to keep her protected. So I do my job, and I'm so glad that new people are here today. So welcome, and just keep coming back, okay?
Yes.
Okay, Martha.
I'm so glad you're here. And would you like to introduce yourselves? Why don't we start on my right?
Hi, Martha. It's Darcy.
Oh, Darcy, so glad you came back, and glad to have you here. You come all the time, and we really, really enjoy your energy to help us with this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Martha. I'm Tina.
Tina, we've been looking forward to meeting you. Your grandmother is so excited about this, and I know you are too, so have a great time.
Thank you, Martha.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Martha, I'm Mac, and I'd like to get up to put the recorders in front of Marilyn.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Yes, go ahead and do that. We'll protect her.
Okay, they're ready.
Thank you, Mac, for being so helpful.
You're welcome.
It's very appreciated.
Yeah, Martha, this is Sue.
Well, Sue, we want to thank you for your help and all the things you're doing to help Marilyn, and your YouTubes are a big smash. That you record these and help her out with that, and the book things you've been doing for her, helping that get to the publishing stage. So thank you for your efforts.
You're welcome.
And we appreciate you too.
Hi, Martha. It's Kellia.
Kellia, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm doing just fine, and I know you've been to healing, and you're welcome everybody in here. If they don't know, there's free healings on Thursday afternoons, and we've seen Kellia and Darcy there, and even Arnold, so quite a few of you have come, and it's open to anybody at 2 o'clock on Thursdays. So Kellia, you keep coming on Thursdays too.
Check.
Okay.
Hi, Martha. This is Arnold. I'm wonderful to be back here again with you.
Well, Arnold, you're just working really hard on the project you have ahead of you. It's a lot to take in and a lot to handle, and we're so proud of you on this side, so just keep pushing ahead.
Thank you. Will do.
Okay, Arnold, best of blessings.
Martha?
Yes.
I have a question. Marilyn channeled on Thursday for our healing session, and she's doing it again today, and sometimes that really depletes her energy. Do you have a suggestion for how long I should let her go today?
Well, we have some good news. She's got another battery working up. You're aware of that, Matt?
I am.
And that Radiac's really been helping boost her energy, so she should be just fine today. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Thanks for asking. In fact, any of you you're familiar with Edgar Casey, he has a battery that works for everybody, and it helps your energy to balance. And anyone interested could check with Marilyn later about getting one, but she's just having a blasted because she used to be really full of, so tired, and she's getting her strength and energy back. She's tickled pink. So have a good time, and I'll see you before we leave.
Thank you.
Thank you, Martha.
Bye.
God bless.
Toodaloo.
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 Tina, this is your grandmother, Margaret, and I am so glad that you came today. I wanted to let you know how much I love you, and I know that you are going through a great amount of grief because we got so close for so long, and I know that I was really the strongest person in your life for most of your life, and it was such a disaster for you to have to get on your own feet and emotionally take care of yourself, and it's not been real easy, has it, honey?
No.
I think there's Kleenex somewhere if you need it. Go ahead and get yourself some Kleenex.
Thanks, Grandma. Thank you.
Here's another.
Thanks.
You've got our supply.
Wonderful. I want you to know, honey, I'm really proud of you. for trying to move forward as best you can. But I wanted to also let you know, but I love you so much, I have some messages I want you to take to heart.
Okay.
First of all, to help you through this difficult time, I am going to be with you as a guide. I want to help be there so you can call on me anytime when you have a question or you need some extra encouragement. If you aren't sure of what to do, I want you to call on me through your heart. Open up that heart of yours, which you've really closed down at this point, and that's why part of your problems are going on. You're afraid you're going to get hurt again, aren't you, dear?
Yes.
Yes. And I want you to open that heart so love can come in and help heal you. And I want you to know that I'm there for you, and I'm going to be there for you on a 24-hour basis for the time being to help you get through and into a better place, okay?
Thanks, Grandma.
You're not going to ever be alone. Your angels are with you, so I'm going to just add support, and you can know that I'm with you, and you don't have to feel like you're on your own.
That's awesome.
Well, I also want you to know, honey, you turn to me for all your help and support and information and advice, and you can do that in spirit. But I also know it's time for you to wean yourself off of depending on me quite so strongly, and that's one of the reasons I had to go. This is a tough lesson to grow up and to be able to trust yourself in your inner heart of love and love yourself enough to trust yourself and not necessarily nice helping you or being there or other people in your life, but to learn to grow up and trust God, that He's always there for you and always will be. So as you open your heart to know that I'm with you and let that love come and comfort you, I want you to start knowing that it's time to look within for your answers too. And this is all part of growing up. You've been very afraid of that, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm still learning how to
Well,
figure it
everybody's still learning, Tina. You're not alone with that condition. I think everybody on planet Earth is learning it if you haven't figured that out. Everybody's in a different place, only you seem to be very, very strongly attached to me, and we're going to have to loosen the binding and the bonding just a little gradually at a time so you can get on your own 2 feet. So I want you to listen closely. Information that you hear inside is going to be blocked by some of the toxic things you're doing. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I want you to have a healthy life, Tina. And it's impossible to move forward spiritually if you impede it with toxic ingredients. And that's food that does not have any nutritional value. But it is also things that you're smoking and also things that how you're behaving and your fears are keeping you stuck from connecting to the love that's in your life and in your heart. And you need to open your heart so you can listen to me and let me be with you, but so you can also listen to your inner self, the God within you, and listen to that love that's always been there, and to quit in whatever way you can through rational means of gradually moving into healthy behaviors and healthy ways to sustain your life. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
All right. I don't want to make an issue of it, but I want you to know that eventually becomes a matter of life or death. And you know how your rest of the family has gone with this situation
Yeah.
and how drastic it can become. And I just want you to look at that will be you in a few years if you don't mend your ways. You know they've gone through, the suffering and the misery they've gone through, and how terrible we create our own. And I got to the other side and I better understand what's going on. People create their own hell. And Tina, it's time to walk out of your hell and I'll help you do it. Okay?
Thank you, Grandma. I miss you.
I miss you so much. But it's time to take the first step forward into a healthier reliance on a loving God within you. I'll be with you all the way, all right?
Okay.
And whatever help you can find that will be productive, supportive groups and friends that will not take you back into your old ways of handling things. You're running from reality, and I want you to step into the love of who you are. You're my beautiful granddaughter. I want you to grow up and be a fine, lovely woman that you are, but you don't see that today. All right, you have a vision, you're going to have a goal, you're going to move forward into becoming and loving yourself, okay?
Okay.
Because I love you and God loves you. That's all you need. And you can love yourself if you open up your heart and quit blocking it with toxic substances. All right?
Okay.
So I want you to know, just give yourself a big arm, put your arms around you and give yourself a big squeeze and know it's from me, okay?
Thanks, Grandma.
You're so loved. Don't just give yourself a big hug every night and know I'm hugging you. In spirit, I'm with you 24 hours a day, and you're going to walk into the best life you can imagine, okay?
Okay.
And it's going to get better, but you have to make that step. You have to make that decision to move forward out of where you are now and say, that's the past, it's over, and I choose to have a better life. And I will be with you while you do it.
Awesome. Thanks, Grandma.
I love you so much.
Love you too.
And tell Sid how much I miss him,
I will.
and your brother, and your parents, and all the people like Caleb. He's a sweet little guy, and he deserves better. Honey, I want you to be a terrific example to him of how people do not have to stay in alcoholism. They can walk out of it. They don't have to stay in toxic ways to run from reality. And you can be a wonderful example to Caleb and be a wonderful reason why you can move forward and say, with God, I can do anything. All right?
Okay.
And I love you so much.
Love you too.
And I miss you. But you know we're going to be together on a 24-hour basis, so you're not going to be able to say that.
I've noticed lately you popping up everywhere. So
Well, that's because I love you and I want you to know you're not alone. Everybody in this room has spirit around them all the time. They're just not aware of it, and now you're becoming more aware. And that's a wonderful reason to say, I'm okay, I'm safe, I can do this. Okay?
okay.
I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader.
Thanks, Grandma.
All right. Take care.
You too. Love you.
I'll talk to you again, but just know that I'm with you. And I love you very much.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
And I am John the Divine, and I'm so glad to meet with all of you this afternoon. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We're glad to be here,
Thank
John.
you coming.
I recognize several faces. However, there's two faces one face actually I don't recognize, and I know that she just had a very tender, loving communication. And would you like to introduce yourself to me?
I'm Tina, John.
Tina, we're so glad you came, and just know that Spirit is with you, and this information that you're going to hear today will be some steps to move forward in your better direction.
Okay.
And so we're glad you came. And Kalia, I know you.
Hi.
Hi, and glad to see you again.
You too.
And Arnold, I know that you are diligently taking on responsibility for yourself, and I am thrilled to hear about that.
Thank you, John.
And I admire that. And Sue, we want to thank you for your efforts in helping Marilyn.
Welcome.
And thank you very much. And Mac, we appreciate your setting things up each time and doing the little routines that are necessary to put this together, and so thank you very much.
I'm pleased to be able to do it, John.
Well, it's most helpful. And Darcy, who's a big supporter of ours, has come many, many times for years at this point. And Darcy, I want to tell you how much we appreciate you coming and being such a steady energy battery for Marilyn. It has been marvelous that you've been so consistent and you just keep coming back.
Well, it's my pleasure, and I'm very glad to do it. And it's because I love all of you and I love Marilyn that I do it. It's part of my work.
Well, we appreciate your definite determination and consistency and showing up, and thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I know yet last time when we were talking, I went through some points of what everyone needed to know, and we drew a blank with the last one, and what Marilyn was told afterwards is that's because we're going to talk more about it this time. And of course time was running out last time, so this is kind of a continuation of last month. I will just, for those that were not here, quickly refresh the first three that we talked about, and then we can move on today. Things that everybody needs to know and is growing into has to do with number one, accepting the fact that other people are acting and behaving just like they're supposed to. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, as some people would say today. OMG. Isn't that amazing? That people are acting out their own path, their own story, and their own script. And it has nothing to do with you. And so many of you are taking it on like they're hurting you, harming you, distressing you in some way. And they are doing just exactly the behavior they need to for their own karma cleansing. They are experiencing the exact lessons necessary. Sad to say, it might not be what you wanted. They might not be performing the skills and tasks and help that you looked forward to. They might have gone off and done their own thing. Can you imagine that? And they might be kind of get grouchy at times even, and upsetting, and act out in ways, because everybody right now, and I wanted to share this part, everyone right now is really doing a huge soul cleansing. The people here in this room today might not have known about their past lives, but you are here because you are on the very last emotional and inner cleanings of dense energy, dark energy that is being released. And so that I can explain, and St. Germaine will come in and further explain the last things of this changeover into fifth dimension that we are going through. So these people are going through their lessons just like you are. Please give them the space and their reality. The word is tolerance. So often people say, well, you need to be tolerant. What does that look like? It means that they are given the permission to be themselves at that point in time, even though you don't approve. Maybe it makes you angry. Well, there's no reason to be angry if they're going through what they need to go through. Why don't you try to send a little love and compassion to them and see if that doesn't help smooth the waters, rather than give them advice or tell them how they should be doing it. So you might want to just change your attitude in that situation and accept that they are right where they are supposed to be. Send them love and send them compassion, and that love will help them and ease the energy that they need to shift. You give them the space and permission to change. So as you allow them their space and provide the love that they need for that growth, you are doing the very thing you came to Earth to do, to help them experience love. And your love to them will be a very valuable asset that only you can do, because they are having trouble loving themselves. So I suggest that you think of this new approach to others around you that might not have sent you the nicest messages at one time or another. They are just projecting their pain. Send them back love, no matter how painful, send them back love. And say and understand that they are going through their difficulties, but when you love them, it will change. And anything else will just stop the energy from transforming. So that was my little extra bit on the first part of what you need to know. The second one is to accept yourself. Accept that only you can change. You can't change those that we just talked about except through sending love, but you can change yourself by loving yourself, by allowing yourself to find better and more productive ways to handle your life. I'm talking about physically, as you eat healthier foods, look on the labels. I have never been political before, but Marilyn just received a phone call from the organic organization that's trying to promote this labeling that's coming out on the ballot. And it's very important that you read what's on the labels. Your food has been adulterated, changed and contaminated from toxic chemicals. So much of what you're eating nowadays does not nurture the body. So you might become more aware of your physical health, of what's in the food you're eating, so that your thinking, it does affect your thinking. Your thinking will be more rational and clear with healthy food. To change your mental frame of mind, and we'll talk about that more in a minute, but to see the truth of who you are by affirming the wonderful person that you were created as. So affirm the love of who you are. Created in the image of God means created in the loving energy of God. And that God's Spirit is within you. Every bit of you, every person in this room, there is a bit of God in all of you. It's in your heart, that divine spark. So as you open up your heart, that God spark can come out and expand, and God is about expanding love. So as you send love to others that are in hurt and harm's way, send love to yourself, you open up your heart, and the God inside will grow. And it will feel so good. So trust yourself to open up your heart and know it is going to be the best thing you can do for you and those around you, because you create your own reality. What you send to others is what you get back. It's like a boomerang. Sending love to others is wonderful. You're going to get it back. Guess what? It's a gift to them, and you get to also benefit. Send out love to yourself, and you can be a better person for loving those that still need it. And love just keeps expanding and expanding, and you'll feel naturally good, a natural high. And I suggest you try that in a meditation. Also emotionally, we're going to do, Archangel Ariel will come in and help you do some emotional cleansing and cleaning, so that you are changing not only your thinking in your head, but what's in your heart. And the emotions are the energy, the dark energy that needs to be transformed and shifted into the loving energy of God, and we will help you do that today. And of course, spiritually, you want to move closer and closer to gifts offered daily. Some people think of God as gifts offered daily. So as you wake up each morning, say, okay, good morning, God. What do you have for me today? And see everything that happens that day as a gift from God. And at the end of the day, say, thank you. I appreciate everything that came to me today. And I'm sending love to those that were in harm's way, hurting, ill, or any way I can be of help and service. How can I help those around me? And as you do all of this, people, you are really edging closer and closer to God. In our past, we were edging God out, and now we get to merge God into our lives. It's just go the other direction. It's like the little turtle in the tortoise race. The little turtle was heading for the finish line. Said, oh, that's not really where I want to go. I want to go in a direction that will be more productive in my life. Winning a race isn't really important. It's, am I edging and moving closer to God? So turn yourself around. It doesn't matter what the outside world says, and move closer to what matters in your heart. And win that race, the spiritual race. And you'll always find the finish line. And I want you to know that no matter what happens, whatever experiences come to you, accept them with love. You see, those are exactly the lessons that you've needed to learn from karma. Some of them are harder to learn than others, and they can be kind of painful because you might not have been the nicest person in a past life. And guess what? Now's your chance to change that. That's what moving into fifth dimension is all about, is taking a different handling of what you did in the past and turning it around so that it becomes loving, rather than hurting and harming others, and it's come back to get you. Cause and effect. So what you sent out to someone else in a past life, how you handled something in a past life, guess what? You get to clean up the mess. The consequences might be right on your doorstep. Whatever they are, send them love, no matter what happened before. And I could give you many examples of how Marilyn's had to clean up her karma, and some of it was not very pretty. She was born in many past lives of thousands of years ago when laws were different, cultures were different, and sometimes it was quite cruel and brutal. And people, of course, did not appreciate some of her actions. And it did come back. And she has had to look at those today and send them love and forgiveness, compassion and understanding, that it wasn't the people that was the problem that gave her the pain. It was her own actions. It's the energy we're clearing, the energy we're lifting into love. And so take the faces off of the people or the situations and just say, I need to change this energy to love. And when you remove the emotions from it and you see whatever it is, send love to it. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, focus on what's right, and that's our next one. So as you change your emotions, you're going to be having a loving heart for yourself and others, and those experiences will be transformed because now you respond to whatever it is in a loving fashion, knowing it was the way it needed to be resolved. And the last one that we left off of last time was looking through the eyes of God. Now that you can accept others for how they are and their lessons they're learning, they're growing up just like you are. They're having their growing pains. And you're changing yourself so that you're growing up. And you're seeing your situations as needing to be healed in love because they're past history that's over with, done with, and the planet has left the third dimension, and you need to align with fifth dimension. That's what 2012 was about. You have had 9 months of grace, like birthing into a new consciousness of grace. The grace of God that surpasses all understanding. You have to realign your energy to match Mother Earth. This is what this is about today. Understanding there are still some fragments in your past that still needs to be changed into right now you are having love and in the moment knowing everything is fine. Our pains come from clinging to the past. Painful past. I am giving you permission to release the past and see it through eyes of love, that those people played the necessary part for you to grow into this marvelous new time on earth. You have been picked to move into heaven on earth. You chose to come at this time to reincarnate. Do you realize that your parents and your grandparents all had to line up in order for you to be here at this time? A great deal of planning goes in for you to have been able to come to the planet at this revolutionary, transformative time in history when you will no longer be in that pain and suffering. It will be obliterated, which we will help you do later today. So you can move into the present, where all is good, all is God, and you can look through the eyes of God and see how much you've learned. The wisdom that you've acquired through the experiences, even though they were painful, that you've learned how to handle all people with love, how to love yourself, and how to experience that these situations brought you into understanding how to love whatever was necessary to clean up your karma, your past behaviors, traits, thoughts, or whatever harms that you caused in the past. That you are no longer that other person. You are becoming a new creature. And that new creature is the child of God in Christ consciousness and all innocence. So as you look through the eyes of God at everybody, yourself, and all those experiences around you, all you see is you've risen above the darkness into the light of God, which Saint Germaine will explain in a minute. So I want you to remember, no matter what happens, you are a loving soul. You were always protected by spirits around you. Your guides have worked overtime to connect you into the right places and situations for the lessons necessary. You might even thank them for all their hard work. Some people call it synchronicity, but sometimes you can recognize, I was supposed to meet this person. I was supposed to have this happen in my life right now. You know, and as Marilyn went through the check stand the other night at the Navy Exchange, and she took care of her needs. She bought several things she needed, and it was a big victory for her. She is learning how to take care of her needs. And the check stand total came to 444, and that is a spiritual number. And it was like, aha, this heavens were acclaiming that she had learned how to take care of her needs. She needed these items. She purchased these items, didn't put them off from her old history of you never spend a penny, from the Depression times of her mother, and she took care of herself. So you see, we all are learning, we all are taking care of the old energy and changing it, and you will get affirmations, little signals, and little rewards showing you, wow, I've learned this lesson. I can do it now. It's okay, whatever is necessary to take care of, I can handle it. Because through the eyes of God, this is the most loving thing I can do for myself and for those around me. So looking at life through the eyes of God is fifth dimension. That is all you see. The light will dispel the darkness, and we will have more about that now. So I will leave as Saint Germaine comes in. Have a very nice afternoon, and I'm so glad that you all came.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
I am Saint Germaine, and I'm glad to be here today.
Thank you, Saint Germaine.
I'm glad you're here.
Well, I am so pleased to be able to share with you something that I think is very profound, and you will be on the cutting edge of this information because more and more scientists will finally come to this understanding that you are going to get this afternoon. It has been coming to Marilyn that she needed to learn more about this, so we have been giving her information, and we would like to share it with you too. As you know, scientists have dealt with the light and those objects that are that can be weighed and measured and have depth and density, and have machines to take care of how do you describe it, so that you have different ways to measure these different things in the physical world. And most scientists in the past have said, that's all there is. If I can't see it, it doesn't exist. Well, we are here today to give you the answer of how science can come into agreement with spirit, because you're all talking about the same thing. As science has progressed, they finally did realize that there are energy waves that go beyond what you visually see. And they can also be identified, but the human eye might not perceive those particular waves of energy or light, so that they might be ultraviolet, or those sounds that are not necessarily heard by the human ear. They might be a dog whistle. And gradually science has moved their expansion into include more and more of what is not visible. However, they are now moving into quantum physics and string theory, coming closer and closer as the vibrational connections they are looking at and measuring through their newer instrumentations are coming into higher and higher vibrations of energy. Now, as this is happening, you will also remember that Einstein told them that matter and light were just different versions of the same thing, that light could be turned into matter and matter can be transformed into light, or energy, or vibrations and frequencies. And so that made a huge change in the sciences, and that more and more technology has been developed to observe this kind of phenomenon. And I believe, Mac, you have had a tremendous amount of training in measuring scientific and physics of science types of areas, where you have had the training to do that kind of thing.
That's correct.
And so those trainings were very, very important, because they were just new steps along the way to get where we're talking about today. Now, some of you in this room are familiar with Edgar Cayce, and he said all life is vibration. And recently a scientist has made the same comment. Everything is in vibration. Now, isn't that interesting? They would both say that, because one is coming from a metaphysical point of view and one is coming from a scientific point of view. And they are saying that all items have atoms that are vibrating. So we have a common ground at a point where you can measure the vibrations within a certain range, and their instruments are limited at this point to only go into that range, which is still identifiable, still somewhat visual. Now, let's bring a third piece of the puzzle into this picture, and we've said that we would like to bring this in together with spirit or religion. The Bible says God is light. Now, if you're really reading what that says, it says God is a vibration, an energy that vibrates and produces light. So you see, this light is not observable by the human eye. And therefore, many people have denied this existence of energy. It is very easy to say, I can't see it, it can't be there. But you people in this room have a different understanding of a higher vibration, of a higher energy, a higher power of love and light that you listen to in your heart, and you hear the messages and the guidance, and you understand what light can do. It can dispel the darkness. Now, if you wanted to have a little better understanding of how high this light really emanates from, and you understand that sound and light all both vibrate, so we could call them fairly equivalent because they're both energy. And as you know, sound on a piano, when you strike the piano, will make a sound and vibrate a particular tone. Now, those tones are very important in the physical world because piano music and other musical instruments, car horns, whatever sounds that make tones are very important. Of course, if you have to put on the horn to tell someone, careful, be careful or I'm going to hit you, it becomes extremely important rather than just a pleasant piano serenade. So sounds are very valuable, but have been predominantly focused on a physical third base, third dimension level. However, as we move into higher vibrations, they can be very practical. And Edgar Cayce even had a machine with a blue ray that you could use for healing. Marilyn went to an osteopathic doctor who had a magnetherm machine, and in those days most doctors would have thought of it as being a quackery mechanical device. But the heat and the vibration actually healed her broken tailbone. So you see, just because you don't see or hear the vibration, it is very productive in healing. And of course you know about healing energy through going to Thursday Healing with Mac and going to other healing sessions as Reiki or acupuncture. All of this is using higher energy. So you can see how productive that energy is. And that light force, whatever you call it, are equal terms. They're like synonyms. If you were to plunk that piano key again, and then find a piano that had 40 more octaves on it, you would reach the highest source of sound. The God source is 40 octaves of vibrations, smaller and smaller as you go into higher dimensions. Low sounds are low, dense energies of the third dimension as you've moved yourself out of those dimensions of more fear-leaving, guilt-leaving, shame, worthlessness, whatever self-defeating negative energies have been bearing down on you, causing your gravity and your weight. As we move out of those energies into higher vibrations, ladies, you won't have to worry about diets because you will be lighter. As you realize the word in the middle of the word diet is D-I-E. Most diets are based in unhealthiness, even though they promote them as healthy. But as you move higher and higher into the energies that are nutritionally better for you spiritually, but also in your foods, in your thinking, and in your emotional well-being, you discover that the whole universe is surrounded in well-being. The whole universe is full of healthiness and wellness. And that the trick is that science just hasn't made the final connection up to the highest source of the vibration. The atomadine particle is the missing element between science and spiritual heights of love. And this will be coming into the awareness of science gradually and fairly shortly, so that people will be able to see that it is the light that makes our world run. As some people have said in songs, love makes the world go round. And it has not really been acknowledged to do that in the scientific field, as you know. But as the Beatles said, all there is love. And as you know, love seems to make your life go better. So opening up your heart to that love actually brings what you truly want. So to release anything that is in the way of that love, that highest energy that is God, or is light or love, is going to actually bring you the reality that's your truth and birthright. You see, in the Bible it is already there, but it has definitely been ignored, discounted, and not expressed and discussed because the churches would lose their hold on you if they took you out of third dimension. But now that the planet has left third dimension, which was the meaning of 2012, and you are now in fifth dimension, it is time for you to align your energy out of the belief system of what you were raised with or grew up with or society has perpetuated, and to claim the light that is within you. In the Bible it says, I am the light. He that followeth me and walketh out of the darkness into the light is the light of life. That is in John's book, in the Bible. There are many verses in the Bible about God being light, and they have not in the past seen the relationship of God's light, which you call God, being the same as that physical item they have measured in third dimension. It is just on a higher frequency that they haven't observed, and it's not observable. And they have no tools to measure something unobservable in that high degree of vibration, which they are now developing, however. So it is just like going up the scale of the piano, only into higher and higher, higher, so that you have a piano with many, many more octaves to it, so that you actually reach up. As you grow and let more light into your life, you will get closer and closer into the light that you were created in, and you are returning back to that light and the oneness of who you were created to be, one with God. You are in that spirit, always have been, and it has only been the darkness that obliterated it. And now the light is here to shine on you, only seeing the love that's in you and around you, that light. The most profound song in a hymnal is only sung in spiritual churches, and it's Mac's favorite song. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. You don't necessarily hear that in any churches today, but there are churches that do sing that song, and it is the truth. You are the light. Let your light shine, and it doesn't matter if it's visible on the planet or if it's doing some loving, kind act to somebody else. That's letting your light shine, loving yourself, helping others, as many of you in this room are doing. That is one of the best ways to make your light shine, is to get out and help those around you. Volunteer somewhere. See what you can do to make someone's life a little happier. If you have certain talents, do they help somebody who is in need of that? Whatever you can do to help somebody helps yourself. Edgar Casey's quote is, you get to heaven on the arm of those you help. Why is that? Because you are part of that person. That person's energy and your energy are all one with God, so you're helping yourself. You're getting out of your selfishness and sending out your love, and in helping someone else, your light shines even brighter. And you grow from that. You become brighter from that. So don't hold back. If there's a way that you can jump in and say, I can do that, I can help that person, I can help them jump their car, I can loan them $1, I can do whatever you need to do. You can go, there's so many places that are crying for volunteers. Whatever you do, some people in this room constantly are involved with volunteer work, and we would take our hats off to them. Because you see, you are now in heaven. Fifth dimension is heaven on earth. We're here to help each other, to be in unity and one together in cooperation. We are coming into harmony with everyone. And what you can do to help bring that harmony is important, because so many of you have looked at life as a hard, arduous journey. And now you can look at it as a harmonious experience. And that's the light that keeps growing and growing. So heaven on earth is not a place. It's in your mind. Your mind has been transformed into love. And the ego, the fears are being dispelled at this very moment. Archangel Ariel will be coming in to help you do that. So as you are transforming your life to match the planets having gone through its birthing cycle of a new dimension, you no longer have to die to get to heaven. You will be on this planet Earth, which is heaven, because people here will act as if it's in heaven. You will no longer have people, as we grow and move towards the new age, which we are in, but we're in the baby steps of it. But as we move closer and closer, the next 20 years will be mind-opening, empowering, beautiful, prosperous, abundant. Things that you could have never thought of in the past will unfold and opportunities will come to you. So aligning your energy with that energy of the light, the highest light you can find to visualize in your meditations, and sit in that light of love and let it dispel anything that's left that needs to go. So we are going to help you with that now. I hope that you understand that there was no difference between science and God. You just were not given the tools to make the connect the dots, you might say. And now as you go up that scale into higher vibrations, higher notes on the piano, into higher octaves, you are growing closer and closer and through higher dimensions as you proceed on your trip back to God and the oneness of your truth of who you are. Have a very harmonious, happy, joyous journey, and enjoy the universe that will unfold in front of you in ways that are still unimaginable. Your trip will be eventful but fun. Thank you for my being here this afternoon, and we will have Archangel Ariel helping you to move into this heaven on earth. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saint Germaine.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Martha.
Well, I actually have a little lower voice than Martha, but that's okay. We use Marilyn's vocal cords, and we're always trying to pick one that will be a little more distinctive from somebody who was in before. So I've picked one that's high, but not quite as high as Martha's. All right, so I would like to help you today with a little exercise. And this exercise is to visualize walking into a room, actually a building today. So take a big deep breath and relax. You see, meditations work the best. The more relaxed you are, the better you meditate. And as you're taking another big deep breath, breathe in love and breathe out fear, because we're going on a wonderful, wonderful journey. Now this room feels very interesting to you, because this room has two feelings that are not necessarily what you always feel. And one of the feelings in this room is trust. And some people have trouble trusting. Trusting means that you trust God, you trust the universe, you trust love, and you trust all that is good. Maybe some of you know the verse, all things work for good in those that love God and are in His path. That's trusting that it'll all turn out to be good. Sometimes things are kind of disarrayed and good orderly direction needs to happen, and that's God. We put it in good orderly direction and the result is good. It is God. So I want you to make the decision this afternoon to trust. If you have been on the fence about trusting. If you've had doubt, just say, I need to get off the doubt fence and move over into the trust. Because I cannot have doubt and trust at the same time. It's like having one foot in love and one foot in fear. It says in the Bible you can't serve two masters, so you have to make a choice. I hope your choice is to trust today. And the other choice that's necessary to make all of this come together and to give you that connection and bridge to move into that heaven on earth, that fifth dimension, that the grace of God is in your life, is forgiveness. And some of you are saying, oh my, there's something I can't forgive. Well, I'm saying today, you don't forgive people to let them off the hook, because whatever they did might not be right. But that's not what you're forgiving. They will have their own consequences to pay. What you're giving up, you're forgiving, what you're giving up is the past emotions attached to it that is keeping you weighed and anchored down in third dimension. So that you have a new day, which is what we're talking about. Leaving the past behind, all its pain and suffering, all the sadness, all the problems, all the suffering. And as you forgive, you give it up for a new beginning. You give up your limited view to have it all. Now that's a good deal, isn't it? So maybe you want to give up that, whatever you're hanging on to, that problem that still bugs you, still irritates you, still is a problem. Can't get it out of your mind. Because God has more for you than you can imagine if you can give it up and move out of hanging on to that. Is it really accomplishing what you want? To still keep your focus in that lower energy of hanging on to that and bringing yourself down into the alligators? Is it worth it? I suggest you get out of the alligators. Drain the pond. Move out. Give it up. Walk away. Give it to God. Been there, done that, God. I don't need to hang on to that one. I learned my lesson. I've moved out of that situation. I'm doing better. I've moved on. And you can have it. It's all yours. So you don't forgive for the other person. You do it for you. To clear the chain that is hanging you down from moving on and moving forward into the present. You see, all the past is what you've been going through and feeling and enduring and trying to struggle through. And now that you're in fifth dimension, that's not necessary. It's not necessary to hang on to that stuff anymore because you're not even there. And we're going to help you as you walk down the hallway of this building and change that. So now I hope you've made the decision to trust. Trust the universe, whatever it has for you. It's terrific. And forgive whatever you've still been hanging on to that's holding you back. As we go down the door to the hallway, we have to go through the doorway. And the doorway that we are going through is all lit up with lights blinking on and off and just bright and shiny, and it gets our attention and it looks beautiful, and it's the doorway of love. And we are going to walk down the hallway of love and check out these doors of where we need to have love in our lives. So step through the doorway of love, and as you do go down this hallway, there is a door on the right. Open it up and it says faith on the door. Now maybe in the past you've had a great deal of fear. So you can leave the fear out in the hallway, because as you go into that room, turn the light on. Light, there we go, turn the light on. There's no fear in there. Because with faith there can't be fear. You are free of your fear when you have made the decision to walk in faith and live in faith. Living in the faith is the experience that will lighten and brighten your life and bring rewards to you that you would never have thought of, and opportunities will open up. Living and walking in faith, that's the light. I want you to stand for a moment in that light of faith, knowing there is nothing in that room to fear because it's all lit to the very corners. Absolutely nothing in there that's dark, scary, or harmful, because you're now in faith. And as you move out of that, back to the hallway from that room, you walk down the hall, and on the left side you see another door, and it says peace. And on the outside of the door, before we go in, we're going to leave our anger. Anger causes more trouble than you'll ever understand. It's your selfishness and self-centeredness. So let's open the door of peace and walk in. Turn on the light. Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful light. No darkness in here. No anger, no red, no problems. Everything's going well. It seems like all the other problems have just gone away and you're in peace. You've risen above the anger in peace. The peace that surpasses all understanding. You are truly in the light. Everything else is gone, dissipated, dispelled, evaporated. Enjoy the peace in your heart. As we leave the room of peace, we're going to go back into the hallway and open up a door again on the other side. And this door says contentment. So we will leave our neediness outside to be loved back to its original state in the hall of love. Walk into the door of contentment, turn on the light. Oh my! Everything you need has been taken care of. There's nothing for you to be needy about. Abundance, prosperity, food, shelter, whatever you need has been taken care of. Right now you have everything you need. Right now is all there is. And you are contented knowing that you are safe. Your needs have been met. As it says in the Psalm of 23, it says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." There's nothing you want. You have it already. The darkness just covered it up. Oh my gosh. Everything you wanted is there in your life right now. And as you open up and move down the hall, guess what? You'll even have more coming in because you'll be so grateful for your needs to be met that more can come. Enjoy having your needs met. Be contented. The struggle is over. Go back into the hall of love and open another door. This door is one that is a very big problem for many people. It says companionship. You are going to leave your loneliness out in the hallway to be loved. So as you open the door and you go into this room and turn on the light, this room is filled with spiritual angels, guides, masters, God, those that have passed over. They're all there in the light. They never went anywhere. And you can now see that spiritual sight. You're not alone. You have lots of company. Lots people there for you. You are safe and protected and never were in harm, no matter how bad you thought it was. They were always there for you. You just didn't see them. But they were there. Your angels looked after you. They've always been with you. Even if you didn't realize it, they were there. You don't have to be lonely ever again. The company of the spiritual family never leaves unless you put a real human being and more important in front of them to hang on to. Turn to your spiritual family who is always with you. Invite them into your car and let them go with you wherever you travel. Invite them into your house to live with you and feel the good feelings. Invite them to go with you on when you go to visit a friend or a place that you think they might enjoy too. They're going to be there. You might as well invite them along and enjoy their company. And say thank you for being with me. Thank you for taking such good care of me when I didn't even know you were there. I'm so glad that I had company and that you were there for me. And as we go back out into the hallway of love, there's one last door. And you are going to see on the door the word self-worth. So I want you to leave in the hall all your shame and guilt, inadequacies, inferiorities, less than, lacking, not good enough. All that's going to be left in the hall. And you're going to walk into that room of self-worth. Turn on a light. Walk in. Beautiful light everywhere in the room. You're standing empowered. You are everything you are meant to be and more. You limit yourself. Don't limit yourself ever again. Don't put yourself down. Don't hurt yourself. Don't do things that are not going to help the light shine. That might stop that. Don't let other people do things to you that will stop your light. Move out of that spot. Tell them to go away. Find new friends. Find new places that are healthy for you, that the light is shining. Because that's who you are. Own it. Claim it. It feels so good to know that you are a good person. And you have always been a good person. Anything else was not real. And as you walk out of the room of self-worth, you stand in the hallway, and there's no walls, no more rooms. You are taking the next step into heaven on earth. The universe is ahead of you as you move out in your empowered state. Never lonely again, never needy, never without people in your life, where you don't have to fear. Everything will go smoothly as it's supposed to. Everything's right in place. It's wonderful. Trust the universe, knowing that its gifts for you are beyond your imagination. And that light of God will never let you down. And all those little adamantine particles of light that are right from God are filling you every moment with love. And you have come home into that oneness, the Christ consciousness of who you were created to be, sharing your light and letting your light shine out into the universe, because the whole universe is actually being raised, not just planet Earth. And you are creating a whole new life, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you, and those even that you don't know about yet. enjoy the rest of your life. Because that's all there is. The only emotions of God are joy, bliss, ecstasy. And you find those feelings in your meditations and let them grow and grow and grow until they become who you are completely. Congratulations for bringing heaven to earth. I bid you good afternoon, and you can go home and recreate this meditation anytime that you feel lonely. Walk into the room of light. If you feel needy, walk into the room of light. And let those old feelings be dispelled by the light of God. And that people will show up in your lives and definitely help you along your path. So be aware that guides will bring you to those that will help you, the opportunities that are there for you, the new adventures that await you. Life is to enjoy. Enjoy heaven on earth. My blessings to you, and these are big blessings today. I love to give you blessings. So as you are all blessed, go home knowing and saying, I have been blessed, knowing that that is who you are today. You are a blessed child of God, living in the light of His love, which is unconditional, eternal, forevermore. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Marilyn. Thank you for such a wonderful meditation.
Well, everybody, I guess that we got confused with Ariel, but she didn't mind. I'm not going to worry about it. And I hope you all had a happy afternoon, and you got your blessings, and everybody learned something that might help them. And I just think that it's wonderful you came and keep coming back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Martha. I love you. Appreciate you.
Toodaloo!
Toodaloo.